Hello again, everyone, and thank you for joining my workshop today. It's Friday afternoon, so I really appreciate that you are here. And special thanks to organizers for your hard work and enormous effort to make things happen. So my name is Lyubov Guk. I'm a partner and co-founder at Blue Lake. So what Blue Lake is? So we're London-based VC fund and startup accelerator. We find, invest, and support great but undiscovered early-stage startups from developing countries and Ukraine in particular, and we're linking them with the UK market. So our main office is in London, and we have scouting team in Kiev. We're operating since 2019, so next year we are celebrating 2 years anniversary, and hopefully we will be able to throw a huge party in London. Let's see. As you can probably see on my slide, our secret sauce is investment and has hands-on support, and we truly believe that, especially at early stages, these two parts of equation are pretty much critical for startups. Just a couple of words about myself. As you already know, I'm a partner at Blue Lake. So I personally came from a corporate background. So over the past 7 years, I have been working in strategic consulting space. So in the UK, Europe, and Ukraine, supporting different companies ranging from SMEs to enterprise level. Over the past 3 years, I have been mentoring early stage startups, focusing mostly on go-to-market aspects. I'm also an organizer of biannual Ukrainian British startup roadshows in London since 2015. As you can see, my personal motto is think globally or die, but good news, we are not going to die today. We are going to discuss some interesting stuff. So actually these are key points, what we are going to talk about today. But, before we kick things off, let me share with you a couple of words about my approach in this presentation and in general. Be it go-to-market or any other aspect of your business, I believe that there is no one-size-fits-all solution. It simply does not exist. I'm not going to pretend that I'm sharing with you some secret knowledge today. But the successful outcome of this presentation for me personally would be if you guys can look at your go-to-market from a little bit different perspective. And I think we are ready to start. So actually, what is go-to-market? So what we are talking about here? So basically, we are talking about how to sell your product or your solution to the market. In other words, how to sell your product to your clients. As simple as that. But what the challenging part here is, and there are a lot of things I'm going to share with you. So based on what I observe working with startups, especially at early stages, that fundraising chase very often becomes many founders' singular focus. Even more, like, we are surrounded by constant barrage of catchy headlines, like another zillion round raised and everyone is happy. We see smiley pictures and so on. But and again, in our personal experience, like we talk to hundreds of startups from different parts of the world, and pretty much all of them are on top of their game when it comes to to raising funds or, let's say, building products. But what I also see is that 9 out of 10 startups I work with and I talk to, like they're really bad with go-to-market strategies, so some of them, maybe not some, most of them are just hiding behind that, like, we have more important things to do attitude, or something like, okay, so we will pivot anyway, so why we should bother? But you really should. Yeah, so again, don't get me wrong, like fundraising is pretty much important and hard thing to do, but probably the key point here that the funds raised do not guarantee a success for a company, but traction does. I hope it makes some sense. And let's take at a bigger picture. So I have some data for you, and let's take a look at the first chart. So this is PwC recent report about like challenges challenges different startups face in the Europe. And as you can see, customer acquisition and sales is the biggest challenge for the future development of the companies. The same with CB Insights data, like among top 20 reasons why startups fail. So they identified that no market need is unfortunately the first one, with like more than 40% responses here. So again, it's sad but true that many startups manage to raise funds, but they still fail. So let's move on. And, it would be fair if we would discuss what actually stops startups from getting to the market. Again, I'm basing on my own experience here and on experience of our portfolio startups. So the first one in this list is lack of clear strategy and structured approach, to a go-to-market, to identifying the best fit scenario for a company. What it means in a very practical way. So again, I work mostly with early stage guys, and the big part of my job is helping them to be more disciplined, if I can say that. So it's not only about go-to-market, it's about different aspects of the company. So yeah, focus is everything. Try to apply as more structured approach as possible, working on your go-to-market. The second one is targeting all possible markets and clients at the same time. And this what I see in a lot of companies. And so, for example, in probably every second pitch deck, I see something like, okay, we are super ambitious and we are targeting US and EU markets. And what's wrong is in this story. Like, let's look at EU, for example. EU, European market is more than 20 absolutely different countries with absolutely different approaches required to go to that market. So it probably doesn't make sense, especially if you at the very beginning of your journey. So you should really be more specific. Moreover, it would be great to say here that for us as investors, it's important that you spend your resources, you spend time on on one or two market at the very beginning, and we know that you don't just waste time / money to targeting every single market in the world. The next one is chasing not scalable business model and approach. Again, let me share with you some very specific examples. So I worked with great early stage startup from Eastern Europe. So amazing team with just excellent background, great product. Like everything was okay except like one but really important thing. So they did not suffer from lack of leads, lack of potential customers, but they suffered from being too nice to their customers, if I can say that. So, for example, if you are operating in a B2B space and your potential customers are huge enterprises, so it's natural that they have a lot of requests, they have a lot of adjustments. It's fine, but what's not fine that you as a startup, you're trying to, every single time adjust your product, even more if you're trying to adjust it drastically. So to keep it simple, like you are literally offer different product for different customers. And, it's okay if you are building, let's say, consultancy company or something, but it's not okay if you are building really scalable global business. So just think about it. And the last one, but not the least, it's a value. We do everything offered to the market. So it simply doesn't work when neither you nor your customers don't really understand what are you actually doing and what problem you are trying to resolve. Regarding this point, I think it's very simple yet effective exercise you can do. So just ask yourself what I'm doing and for whom I'm doing this, and it really helps to be more specific. Okay, so just to summarize our previous thoughts and points. So it's always a good idea to take a few steps back, to look at the bigger picture, and once again remind yourself what is the problem you're actually trying to resolve. And now I'm going to share with you a simple yet effective tool. So first time I've heard about it, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago at London Tech Day from successful entrepreneur, and I slightly adjusted it and adapted to our Eastern European realities, if I can say that. So every time we work with our startups on go-to-market, so we use this tool just to slice and dice things, and it really helps. So first of all, we start from the vision of startups, vision of founder, I would say. Like this should be really big. Like, I mean, this is your dream, this is your vision, this is your promise to the world. So don't pay too much attention on indicative period. So it's really depends on your business and on your particular sector. But for example, let's be more specific as well. So for example, you are building HR platform, and you're operating in B2B. And at this stage, you can see that we are going to become a world-leading HR platform for businesses. So it's inspiring, it should motivate you, etc., etc. But at this stage, it can be pretty much broad, and it's okay. But now we are going to discuss the next part. So this is strategy, and at this stage, we are starting to narrowing down things a little bit. So at this stage, you should identify what are goals which are supporting your vision and what are your key hypotheses. Again, let me give you an example based on our case with the HR platform for businesses. So at this stage, I would really recommend to use one, maybe two markets, but one is a perfect choice if you're a early stage startup. So you identify one market, you want to focus on one customer segment. So for example, if in our vision we are HR platform for all businesses, so at this stage, so try to be more specific. Like for example, it can be SMEs, it can be enterprises, or even you can be more specific in terms of industries. Of course, be more focused with your offering, with very clear, definition. What are you offering to these clients? So again, for example, it can be like we are going to become a market leading HR platform in, let's say, in UK, and we are offering our solution for SMEs. So as you can probably see, so we have one focus market, we have one target audience, and we have one solution. Again, it's all subject to your specific area, and to your business, but I'm just trying to give some more practical examples. Yeah, and it's also important to keep in mind that at this stage, it's still your assumptions. Of course, it should based on your own experience, on market data you already have. And what's more important, that at the next stages, you should prove or disprove this hypothesis, and to choose the one that really works. Yeah, so just a couple of words about tactics. So literally, these are actions to sell your product and your service. So this is an ongoing process of generating, testing, and iteration different hypotheses you can have, as we discussed previously at the strategy stage. So if in your strategy you identified that your market can be UK, so at the tactics stage, you should really prove, or as I said, disprove this hypothesis. I mean, you should do your market research, you should do market validation, you should just go and talk to your customers, and the same exercise with every single point of your hypothesis, just to make sure that that path which was chosen by you is really the right direction for your business. So again, to keep it simple, the success of your company is can be described as working hypothesis you identified and which were successfully proven by you and your team. So yeah, just find your unique working hypothesis and move on. Just a couple of words about tactics. So what's also important is to measure everything. So again, it would be your very own criteria, which should help you to really understand whether you should start with your hypothesis or you should more be more focused on another direction. Again, I know that we are jumping from subject to subject, but it's really broad topic, and it probably would took me 20 more workshops like this, to give more examples and to be more specific. But yeah, unfortunately, we are limited in time today. But I hope I gave you some sort of high-level overview where you should start when you are building your go-to-market. Yeah, so we move on to some key takeaways. So I put together some thoughts for you, again, to think about your go-to-market strategy and what you hopefully can adjust or improve. So first of all, as we discussed earlier, so look at the bigger picture first, like how the global market works and what are the global trends. It's really important to understand, because I assume all of you are going to become global businesses and to become the next big thing. And it's even if you start small and you start to operate in your local market, it's important to keep in mind actually how the whole world works in your particular industry. The next one is start small. As we discussed, there is no need to target 2, 5, 20 or something markets at the same time. So it's really okay to start from one and scale after. Again, focus is really important. Yeah, so once you select the market, so start to, in a very, very structured way, to test your hypothesis. And again, don't be afraid to kill assumptions that don't work and just move on. Yeah, listen to the market. It might sound obvious that, yes, we should listen to our customers, but due to some reasons, a lot of startups simply ignore these points, and unfortunately, dev startups die faster. And the last point is just get things done. So in a practical way, what I often observe, that there is nothing worse than started doing things right on Monday and just ended up on Friday, firefighting the more important things, just forgetting about your strategy. So it simply doesn't work. You will always have some urgent stuff you need to do, but just keep in mind the final goal, and keep in mind your strategy. The last point on this slide is, as you can see, so you know better. And what I mean here, that as a founder, as an entrepreneur, as a hopefully expert in the space where you're operating, you should probably know better than any other people outside of your company. So I know it's simply to say, but just breathe in, breathe out, sit down with your team and just try to think and identify what would be the best strategy for your particular business. This is pretty much it. I know we are limited in time. Please feel free to reach out to me by email or LinkedIn. I'm really open to talk.
Do you do any extra programs, workshops now at your accelerator? Sorry if I missed that.
Yeah, actually we do, but not so often as we did it before. So just a couple of words about us. So we transformed from accelerator to VC fund. So we've done a couple of investments this year, and now we are raising for our new fund, which hopefully will be launched earlier next year. So we will keep investing and providing hands-on support for early-stage startups from Ukraine and neighbor countries. So again, we still will provide all the tools which we provided as an accelerator, but due to many reasons, it makes more sense to be a fund.